Okay, this is what we call the valuation seesaw. So when a buyer comes to buy your business, they've got to not write one cheque, they've got to write 2 cheques. The first cheque is what they're paying you. The second cheque is what they have to pay for the working capital that's in the business. So that's the amount of cash that has to be in the business just to trade. Now, if the business requires lots of working capital, how big is the second cheque? Big. If the second cheque's big, how big do you think the first cheque's going to be? Small. So is it a good idea to design a business with low working capital?
Yes.
That's a great idea. So this concept of positive cash flow is really important. And that's simply making sure you get paid before you have to pay anybody. So if you get paid on the same day you have to pay for your services, then you've got what we call a neutral cash flow. Yeah? So there's not much cash involved in the business. But if you don't get paid for a month after that you've paid for it, you've got a negative cash flow. So let me give you an example. Let's say we're designing an exhibition stand, for instance. Topical example. Let's say it costs £500,000 in labour, design fees and all that stuff to do it. But we don't get paid for that for a month after we've done it. That means that every single project I do, I've got to have £500,000 worth of working capital in my business. So if I'm doing 2, that's £1 million worth. Now, if I want to grow, do I have to put more money in the business to grow? Yeah, absolutely. Because to grow, every time I grow, I've got to put another 500,000 in. So we need to design our businesses so we get paid before we have to pay people.
So the 50% up front.
Those things.
No.
Make sure you collect your cash. Yeah? All of those things. But that's a design thing, because often when we start in business, we're quite soft with our customers. Sometimes we're just desperate for them to buy. Yeah? And so we get credit terms which are soft. Yeah? And then you set an expectation and a habit with your customers which can't be sustained because you've got too much working capital in your business. Does that make sense? So try and design your business with a positive cash flow or at least a neutral cash flow. Otherwise, when a buyer comes along, they will charge you for that. So rate your own business in terms of positive or negative cash flow and write a few notes about what you could do to improve it.